Michel Leemhuis, you are CEO and co-owner at Kadans Science Partner. Thank you for joining us on BiTV.
Thank you. Happy to be here, of course.
Uh, Kadans Science Partner, along with Canary Wharf Group, has recently formed a joint venture to develop a new 70,000 square meter building in London, which will be the largest dedicated life science building in Europe. Can you tell us more about this project and what it entails?
Well, the project entails indeed the realization of the largest commercial life science building in Europe, in London, also in our own portfolio. It comprises approximately 750,000 square feet. So let's say 70,000 square meters in general. Located on 22 stories, and this will be the first phase of the creation of a world-leading center of excellence, Center for Health and Life Sciences. It will be located on North Quay on a 3.3 hectares of land. This is at Canary Wharf, one of the best connected locations in London, I think. It has a direct connection with Heathrow Airport. There is also a lot of talent available in that region, and also a very nice and relatively affordable place to live. The building itself is wet enabled from the offset, so not an office building enabled for wet labs. We do strive for maximum flexibility, what means that we need to be able to transform lab space into office space and vice versa. Total maximum lab space will be approximately between 50 and 60%. We aim to accommodate small and medium size enterprises, but also global healthcare and pharmaceutical combinations. We always see that a mix of large and small companies works very well in the ecosystem. So this is definitely something that we also aim for in this building. We are going to develop this in close collaboration with Canary Wharf Group. And we really profit from their experience in building in the city center of London. They have a lot of experience in creating high rises, in building high rises in the UK market. Definitely very helpful for us, since we don't have these kind of buildings in our portfolio yet. But especially the combination between the two companies with both their own expertise is very helpful in this phase.
Okay. I have to ask, you mentioned that this project is specially purposed for life science, for the life science activity. It is not an office building that is transferred into a life science purpose. What are the keys, or maybe the key ingredients for the success of a life science asset compared to more traditional asset classes, as you said, like offices or even industrial?
Yeah, well, I think that the knowledge-intensive organizations, they require more than just workspace. They have unique needs, I think, and we always differentiate as Kadans between the hardware and software, where we see the building and its physical characteristics as the hardware and ecosystem management. So the additional service that we provide and the additional service that are focused on the knowledge-intensive communities. That's what we see as software. And like I said, every knowledge-intensive company has different needs. I can say that Kadans in general has gained a lot of experience. We also have in-deep knowledge of the design and special requirements of the various laboratory classes. So we speak the language of the scientist. I think that's really necessary. But also with regard to other R&D spaces, types of R&D space, like clean rooms, pilot plants, etc. And we have a lot of experience. And this experience lies in the fields of permits, licenses, safety measures, etc. And then when we typically look at the building itself, I can say that R&D is about collaboration and knowledge sharing. So we always create an environment where our tenants can meet, where they can bump into each other. So in the physical area, we create large atriums with breakout rooms. For example, very simple, we serve the best coffee in a central location of the building. And so that's also a way where we can bring people into contact with each other. And this is also something that we do by organizing all kinds of events. So relatively with low entrance barriers, like a summer barbecue or a Christmas drink, but also highly scientific lectures that we organize where different type of people can meet. And this really helps. And we have a lot of experience already. We also have some examples where we ran a survey, for example, at the campus of the Wageningen University. One of the outcomes was that more than 55% of our tenants cooperate with one or more other tenants in our buildings. And on a campus level, they, well, 85% of our tenants work with other campus organizations. So this is really something that is necessary for the success of our tenants. Then we don't need to focus on long-term leases either. As soon as the tenant gets some income from other tenants in the building, there is never a reason for them to leave a building. So long-term lease contracts are less necessary, to our opinion.
Okay. I want also to address the state of the life science sector, of the life science real estate market in Europe, because life science is a well-established asset class in the US, notably in Boston, San Francisco, but it is still in its early stages in Europe, maybe a little bit more advanced at the moment in the UK. How do you see it developing in the coming years in continental Europe?
Well, I do agree that the US is ahead of the UK and European market. And I think even that the UK market is also, let's say, 5 years ahead of the rest of continental Europe. Nevertheless, this is really picking up. We do see that both the UK and Europe has a huge number of highly ranked universities. Only London already accommodates 2 of the world's top 10 leading universities, UCL and Imperial, both highly ranked. But also the rest of Europe is a scientific powerhouse. Nevertheless, we have traditionally lacked the commercialization of knowledge. And we as Kadans, we always believed that the valorization of knowledge and also the knowledge industry would be one of the drivers of future economic growth in Europe. And so we also see that the trend is that commercialization of knowledge and well, that gets more and more important. What's also stimulated by the large inflow of venture capital. Nevertheless, there is also well, a lack of available space still. So this is also one of the reasons why we entered into this market. But we strongly believe that we are still at the start of the journey here in Europe, and we will continue to see a lot of investments in companies, and we need to make sure that we also, well, provide the real estate requirements for these kind of companies, because there is still a lack of supply and especially a lack of high quality supplies. Alongside this growth of businesses across Europe, like I said, the real estate sector has not kept pace, and we are now in a critical junction in providing space to these fast-growing companies.
Okay. Businessimo is a Paris-based magazine media, so I have to ask, how do you see the French market for life science in the future, and do you have plans or projects coming up on the French market?
In fact, we do. And like I said, we do see also the rest of Europe as a very interesting market and growing market, especially because of the high quality of the knowledge institutes, the universities. And this also counts for Paris. I think that Paris is one of the largest life science communities of continental Europe. And this is also the reason why we started actually two projects, one in Villejuif, close to Gustave Roussy, the Cancer Institute, but also at Saclay, what is, of course, a huge, it's going to turn into a huge scientific area with a lot of R&D, a lot of life science companies will be present there. The University of Saclay, of course, will be there. And we always seek the collaboration with the Knowledge Institute, where we can establish collaborations between tenants, between companies and the Knowledge Institute. So we definitely see Paris, the Paris region, but also other locations in France as well, very attractive. And we are also looking at other locations like Lyon and Bordeaux. Toulouse is very interesting. So yes, we are also focused on France in general. We have opened an office in Paris quite recently, so you will definitely hear more from us also in France.
Great. Well, we look forward to hearing about your projects in France and in Europe in the future. In the meantime, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us, for your insight today, Michel Leemhuis. And thank you all for joining us. See you soon on BiTV.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity to present ourselves. Thanks.